Here we are again with Astronomy Daily Live. Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well out there in the universe. I'm just getting situated here with the camera, so hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in to the circle, the ever-growing circle of friends who every single day for about an hour or so, we sit around in our comfy virtual lounge chairs, sitting around in our virtual porches with our not so virtual drinks and or other consumables, and sit around, forget about the rest of life, and think astronomical things for a little while. So hey everybody, cheers. I've got the hydrogen hydroxide tonight again, HOH, the most amazing molecule in the universe. And as I always say, I've got about 10 to the 23rd of them in here or so, maybe a little bit more than that, but not too many more than that. So yeah, that's quite a few, but it's not going to take me long to get rid of this. Cheers. I uh, I also have, oh, it's still warm. I also have some coffee as well. So cheers to that. So come on in, join the circle of friends on the virtual lounge. We're sitting here. We're laid back. We're casual. Um, but not so casual as to be, you know, necessarily insincere and just messing around. Uh, I uh, I like to talk science and I like to do science, and therefore I'm going to be sort of three things, right? I'm going to be extremely curious. I'm going to be extremely skeptical, and I'm going to be extremely open-minded. So yeah, I think that's very important for science and maybe for life in general. So yeah. So hey there, Bobby and um, um, Ata. Hope everything's well. Yeah, the data visualization paper is very timely, and uh, these kinds of things happen to me all the time, and I'm getting used to them now. It's I'm thinking myself sort of hard about not only digital visualization, but or data visualization, but also um, being able to hear data, be able to listen to data, and not only um, appreciate it for maybe perhaps its musical um, uh, um, component, but also use audio information to actually um, assist in the analysis of that data. Our ears are really sensitive, really extremely sensitive, um, both in terms of frequency range and amplitude range. I mean, I think, I mean, I, I think that we, our amplitude dynamic range is something like a trillion or so. It's absolutely huge, right? It's really big. So, and but 99.999% of scientists visualize their data. That's all they do, right? They create images, they make plots and graphs, and that's about it, right? But they don't listen to their data. And so I'm a big I'm a big advocate of that, and that's actually one of the things that I'm working on as well. But but uh, um, data visualization is definitely high on my list of sort of things that I'm working on. Now, I mean, I'm calling it data art, but I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be called art. I mean, it can be, right? Um, most of the images and plots and graphs and everything that I see in papers do have sort of an artistic um, uh, bend to them that I like to sometimes view those things as pieces of art rather than trying to show a particular thing or but just let the data speak for itself rather than trying to interpret the um, the data. So yeah. Atta, if you're interested, I have a Bandcamp page with mainly binaural beating that I've created using the motions of Jupiter's four Galilean moons, and there's so much that can be done with all of that. It's really incredible. But I can post a link to that um, in the chat. Let me try to do that here. Let's see, it's called, I think it's called, yeah, astrobinaural.bandcamp.com. For a little while, and actually on a couple of different occasions, um, I did a I also did a daily sort of blog post called Jupiter Today, and along with that came some of these audio links, which I'm now going to paste. Whoop, that's not it. Which I'm now going to paste into the chat. There it is. So take a listen to those, see what you think. You got to wear headphones, right? Because it's sort of a binaural thing. Although I'm using the sound of the four moons, so there's actually four tones instead of two tones. But that actually makes it even more interesting. Um, and so give a listen. Now you'll be careful with binaural beats because they can sort of uh, alter your state of consciousness a little bit. So if you find yourself being not too comfortable or anything, just stop, right? I mean, you don't have to listen to these things. So, but a lot of people find them pretty interesting, and I like to make them. And see, that's one of the cool things about being a programmer, right? Is that uh, I've written all the code that produces those sounds. Now I've mixed those sounds in a program called Audacity, which is a fantastic um, um, musical tool, I guess you can say. Let me get my live stream going here over there. But otherwise, those tones were generated with my software. And since it's my software, I have complete control of that sound. And so actually one of the things I want to get into is actually doing more synthesis, because right now I'm just producing sine waves, and there's no of sort of the typical synthesis elements like um, ADSR, which is attack, something, sustain, and release. Um, Attack, delay, sustain, and release is ADSR. Um, and then for each of those, you can do um, ADSR on the amplitude of the sound, the the resonance of the sound, um, and the tone of the sound. And then in addition to that, I can get into different waveform shapes, right? I mean, as I said, I'm doing sine waves right now, but um, I can make it do square waves or sawtooths or pretty much anything. In fact, I did do this a little bit. I took uh, actually a spectrum from a um, NMR spectrometer that had an interesting um, pattern in it, uh, and I used that as my waveform for sounds. And so yeah, being a programmer, I've got like like complete control over the sound. I mean, I could add all kinds of effects. I could invent my own if I wanted to. So yeah, programmers have a lot of power. Cheers. Yeah, Audacity. Audacity is one of those programs that I'm like, this is a killer. This is a killer app, right? I mean, that's what they used to call them. That is a killer app. GIMP is a killer app. GNU-plot is a killer app. So those three are just absolutely fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, well, um, uh, altering consciousness comes in many ways, right? I mean, just I'm thinking a different way is changing your consciousness. But yeah, binaural beats are used by people to have psychedelic experiences. So that is entirely possible because I mean, um, in a true binaural beat, right? You have one tone that is coming in one ear and another tone slightly different coming in the other ear, right? But what you actually hear is sort of the beating between those, right? So if it's like a 200 hertz tone here and a 201 hertz tone here, you're going to hear a 1 hertz beat, vroom, 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 right? I mean, once a second, right? And and uh, and that is being produced completely in your head. I mean, you are doing that. It's not being done by these sounds at all. There's a single tone here and a single tone here, but combined in your head, um, uh, they do this interference pattern, which is a beat, right? And so yeah, the idea there is, I guess, that the brain operates at sort of these different frequencies, and they've identified them. I don't know what they are, but they talk about alpha waves and beta waves and gamma waves and delta waves, um, and those, I guess, are at different frequencies. And then there's all these other ones, um, but my thing is, uh, um, what I've noticed with most of the binaural beat things, that you can get now, is that they're sort of saying, okay, this is 4.357 hertz, and that is exactly the frequency that you need in order to do blah, right? To lose weight or whatever else. That's not my approach. My approach is take some astronomical data, right? Like the radial distance between Jupiter and its four Galilean moons, right? And as the moons orbit the planet, they're not circular orbits, right? They're slightly elliptical. So that distance between the moon and Jupiter is changing as the moon orbits, right? And so, um, I just make a tone based on that distance. It's really simple, right? And then I do it for all uh, um, for all four, and I put Io in the right ear, Europa in the left, Ganymede in the right, and Callisto in the left, and um, um, combine them all, and that's what you get over on Bandcamp. So take a listen over there, see what you think. It's I don't think it's incredibly well. Yeah, I don't think it's incredible. I think it's interesting. Um, does it have any scientific value? Yeah, it probably does, but it's it's I want to find ways of doing the analysis of data with audio that you can't necessarily do visually, right? And really, if you want to be able to gain an understanding of how the distance between a moon and its planet is changing as that moon goes around that planet, um, I would sort of prefer a graph, right? I mean, just a couple of lines that that makes it extremely obvious. If I have to sit there for a couple of minutes and listen to this um, changing tone, that is just very barely changing, right? It's, you know, uh, you know, I think I'd much rather look at a picture there. So I'm still working on to um, how to uh, listen to data in a unique way that adds value to the analysis. So haven't gotten there yet. Yes, Bobby, I did catch music from the Hearts of Space on Sunday, and I listened to it, and it was, you know, it definitely wasn't great, but it definitely was not bad. It was especially that last song. That last song, I think I'm going to have to learn how to play because, well, one, one, it's very simple, right? Extremely simple. It's just a piano with reverb on it, and the right hand is basically doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, it is a really simple song, but it's played so well. It's played really well. And I mean, look, reverb really makes a lot of things sound better because it gives the sound uh, um, volume. And I don't mean loudness, I mean volume. It gives it space, right? It Instead of sort of a pinpoint of sound, you get this very large sphere of sound. and that's what reverb does, right? I mean, it just makes it makes the sound bigger, and it's great. It's great. So yeah, that last song um, from this Sunday's Hearts of Space was especially great. So ambient musicians, I I like um, I like Steve Roach, and he's actually just right over here in Tucson. I always say that if I get good enough, um, uh, I want to see if I can get um, uh, um, well, I'm not really necessarily interested in meeting people. I'm interested in working with them. But yeah, that would. I mean, he does collaborate. So who knows? Who knows? But I've got to get a lot better, and I have to get his attention, right? Just um, being basically in the same place does not give me a ticket. So um, uh, so Steve Roach for sure, Robert Rich for sure, John Seary does some pretty good stuff. Um, but then I probably my favorite, and it's a toss up. It's a toss up um, between Brian Eno and Klaus Schulze. Um, Both of those guys just absolutely blow my mind. Okay. Now, having said that, another excellent um, ambient when they didn't even know what ambient was is oh, what's his name? Oh no, I just had it. Um, Eric Satie. Eric Satie. Check out Eric Satie. Okay, but I'm trying to remember when he was around. Um, I want to say 1890s, but maybe no, it was maybe later than that. I'm not I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, and if you haven't heard Klaus Schulze, he's awesome. He's awesome. He was in a group, Tangerine Dream, when they first um, came out, and a couple of their albums, um, Rubicon and Phaedra. I think it's called Phaedra. um, are absolutely mind blowing, just awesome, awesome. Now, at least in my opinion, Tangerine Dream really went downhill. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, it really turned to crap. But their early stuff is just absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Um, I I actually listen to once in a while there's a fellow online. His name is Signs of Life, and I believe if you look for Signs of Life, I'm absolutely sure he's over on Twitch. Okay, um, but I think every single I isn't an I, it's a one, and I'm going to try to confirm that here because I just he's been going on pretty uh, quite a bit uh, here. So let me see if I can find. Let me confirm that it's Signs of Life here. Uh, I thought I got notifications. Yeah, I do. Okay, so yeah, it's Signs of Life, and there are two I's in there, right? There's an I in Signs, and there's an I in Life. and each of those I's is a one. You substitute a one. Let's see. Can I do this? Well, I'm gonna try. But he's a ambient musician. Um, oh man, did I? Oh, I think I left my. I think I left my. In fact, I know I did. Okay, that's why my Linux machine is behaving so slowly. Is because I'm running this damn live stream over here, and it's gonna kill my machine unless I get out of it. All right. I was wondering why it was behaving so slowly, so slowly. But now it'll be all right. Now it'll be all right. All right, so I'm going to post how you spell signs of life. So check him out. I'm going to post it here. Oh, it's not letting me. There it is. So check him out on Twitch, and he also runs a website that's called Ambient Online, and Ambient Online is really awesome too. They've got a forum there that you know I can't get to everything all the time, but I do get over there on occasion. It's a really great forum. Lots of friendly people over there who really who are really um, into this and um, and like to help. So you can post your songs there, and they'll um, critique them. Um, a lot of the times the response is, "Oh, I like that," But sometimes, you'll get a longer thing saying, "Well, I like this and didn't like this and blah 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 blah." So anyway, all right. So that is hard to space. Sorry about that. That was a long diversion, but you know, this is a conversation amongst friends. This isn't me, preaching at you. So, I mean, if you want to talk music, that is perfectly fine because I like it. I like most music, most of it, most of it. I like sound. I really like sound. I like all sound. You know what I like even more than sound, though? Even more than sound, I like no sound. I like no sound infinitely more than sound. Um, but having said that, what I like even more than that is being able to choose, being able to choose to have no sound at all or to have sound, right? And that is one of the luxuries out here in the middle of nowhere in southeastern Arizona, is that um, there there are times when there is sound outside. Also, because we do have neighbors around. I mean, they're quarter of a mile away, but we do have neighbors, and they have dogs and chickens and all that kind of stuff, and there are cars and all of that, but there are times when I can stand outside, um, uh, and oftentimes this is especially true, like in the middle of the night, but even in the middle of the day, there are times that I can stand outside and literally not hear a thing. I mean, no wind, no nothing, no vehicles, no humans, no creatures whatsoever, right? You can close your eyes and there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And I really like that. But I also like sound for sure. But I do like to have that choice. So if I was deaf, I would not be happy. Well, Bobby, probably as soon as I possibly can. I'm gonna um, uh, probably won't completely move onto Twitch for live streaming. I'm going to see if I can do both at the same time. I may not be able to because of the bandwidth. I'm not sure how that works. So we're going to have to find out. But yeah, as soon as I can, I'm going to get on to Twitch. But in order to do that, I need a much better machine than this because I'm going to have to run OBS, which at least in my opinion, I mean, I diddled around with it a little bit, and I think it's great. Seems really easy, and yeah. I mean, I just like how easy it seems, and it's going to be able to do everything I want, right? Um, but I need a machine with a little more horsepower than this. As it is, this poor machine is working hard right now, and that's one of the reasons why there's the um, the quality of these live streams is a little bit low. I know that there's sometimes a delay with the audio and the video not matching up and all that. But yeah, as soon as I can, I'm going to get onto Twitch. I'm at least going to create an account and do something over there. Maybe it won't be a daily thing. I don't know. Um, but doing a daily thing is definitely filling a vacuum that just doesn't exist. It still doesn't exist right now. Pamela Gay has stepped up and is doing uh, a live stream every weekday. That's called um, 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 the Daily Space, and I think that's over on CosmoQuest X, right? CosmoQuest X, also on Twitch. Yeah, yeah. Um, so check her out. But she's doing it on the weekdays, and I'm doing it every day, every single day, because uh, you know, for me, it's almost like Groundhog Day, right? Every day seems to be about the same, and we sort of arbitrarily um, call them different things in order to sort of mark and measure the passage of time. And yeah, I don't think that's so important. So, you know, I appreciate more, sunrises and sunsets, and um, to experience those at relatively high frequency, um, which we call every day. Yeah, I think that's good enough, and so you know, I don't really care if it's a weekday or a weekend. I mean, of course, I know what those are, um, and of course, you know, uh, because the culture has sort of um, forced all of us, to behave a certain way on certain days, and it's like, okay, whatever, yeah. But yeah, as far as live streaming goes, I don't distinguish between those, so I'm still filling a vacuum, still filling a vacuum. But yeah, check her out. She's doing that every single day, weekday, and it's just it's sort of news items. Yeah, yeah, news items. Speaking of news items, um, let's get into a couple things here. We get another few trillion of these in me. Yeah, but check out Eric Satie. Eric Satie is fantastic, and I need to. I started learning a few of his songs, and I stopped. So um, yeah. Thanks, Uncle Bill. Yeah, yeah. There's the link. Yeah, you know, Ata, I have to totally agree. Time is becoming less and less important. Um, and actually, I learned long ago that one of the things that I mean, there are very few things that I hate. I mean, like really hate. There's a lot of things that I don't like, right? But I'm talking about hate, like um, uh, you know, when I have to engage in it, it pains me. I feel pain, and that is hurrying. I hate to hurry, and I avoid hurrying like the plague. I most of the time I will not do something if I have to hurry at it. So I just won't because I mean I like to be fully engaged, right? I don't like thinking about what's happening next while I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this, and that's it, right? And I'm not too worried about how long it's taking or what I've got to do next or anything else. And that comes with not hurrying. And so, yeah, for me, waiting in long lines and all that, I actually appreciate and enjoy because it gives me a chance to slow down, just to a standstill, right? To a standstill. You cannot move, right? And I think that's great because it gives me a chance to chill, right? To chill. Mm. Eric Satie. Let me give you a link to Eric Satie. Ah, angelic. Go go listen to this. Oh God, I'm gonna post a link to a YouTube video that's just audio, of course. But check that out. Check that out. Yeah. Eric Satie. All right. So yeah. So speaking of news, I was over on archive.org, and not only did I see that data visualization paper, which I think I want to talk about in a live stream, maybe tomorrow. Just FYI, right? The June 1st, which is not tomorrow, but the day after, the June 1st live stream is canceled. It's canceled. I've got a musical gig over in a local town over here, and I am not going to be home. I'm not going to be available at that time. So see, I mean, here's a perfect example, right? Instead of hurrying, because I think our thing goes from local time here like 5:30 to 7, right? Um, which is what uh, 12 12:30 UT to 2 hours UTC. So theoretically, if I hurried, right, I could probably be here by 2:30 or so if I really hurried, right? I ain't doing it. Goodbye. I will see you the next day. No problem, right? Because I'd much rather not hurry. Uh, yeah. So check out CosmoQuest. Check out the weekly space hangout. They are awesome. They are very smart. It's an awesome crew, very enthusiastic. Um, the people who are sort of running it, Fraser Kane, Pamela Gay, they really know their stuff. They are awesome. They are very awesome. If you want to get into astronomy, hook up with them because they are great. They are absolutely great. I'm, you know, I'm more of a laid back, just have fun type. Um, and I'm going to provide information and I'm going to communicate and all of that, but that's not my primary motivation. Theirs is right. I mean, they want to, tell you what is going on and who and when and why and where, and that's great. That's absolutely great. So check them out for sure. But what I want to talk about is everybody's everybody's always excited about any news about the pillars of creation. this is this is the term that was given to uh, the um, gaseous nebula M16. I think it's also known as the Eagle Nebula, and some people see it as these pillars, right? And so they call it various names. That's fine. Whatever you want to call it, it's awesome. All right, that's what I call it. So I saw that there was a paper, and let's go over to it here. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over here and go to my papers channel. Oh, let me hide that. So this is my Discord server, right? It's called Astronomy Daily Live, and I'm going to go over to my papers channel, and down at the bottom should be a link to uh, this paper. So what these folks have done is they have measured the magnetic field, at least direction, I think strength too, strength and direction of various portions of the pillars of creation. Yeah, there you go, Uncle Bill. There's a big, awesome list. Don't forget Tony Darnell's channel too, called Deep Astronomy. He does a couple of shows every single week, and they are equally very awesome. I mean, Tony's been doing this a long time. I think almost as long as Fraser Kane, and they are kicking it, right? They're really awesome. So yeah, check all those folks out for sure. Please do not limit um, your astronomical access to me because you're going to be missing out for sure, for sure. So what they did here, right, is they used an instrument that's called a polarimeter, which just measures the amount of polarized light um, that's coming from the object that you're observing. And in this case, they're actually looking at submillimeter wavelengths, right? So 850 microns is what point five or 0.85 millimeters, so almost 1 millimeter, but well, that's why it's called submillimeter. Um, and they looked at the amount of polarized light um, with this instrument, and yeah, they were actually able to measure um, magnetic field strength and, of course, also its direction. And so that's really all I wanted to show here was just that picture. This is a very, very short paper. Um, uh, and, they're talking about, the object itself and, that that's a star forming region and blah, 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 right? Um, they ionize a volume in the cloud, right? And that's why we see this glowing cloud. Is that the light from the star is energetic enough to not only reflect off of the gas and dust, but actually make that gas and dust fluoresce, right? And that's why it's called emission, because it isn't necessarily just a reflection, it's also emission. So blah, 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 blah. The formation and evolution of these pillars remain disputed. Um, but what they're saying here is that the magnetic field, they don't know if the magnetic field has any kind of role in that, right? And so that's what they wanted to find out is, you know, the idea is this, right? Is that if you observe um, polarized light, uh, well, there has to be a cause for that, to all be sort of aligned, or some percentage of it being aligned. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thanks for the link. Yeah, Tony's awesome. They're all awesome. They're all extremely awesome. So check them out. So yeah, the idea is that there has to be a cause for all all this material to be co-aligned, um, and the explanation that is given, right, is that, well, maybe it's a magnetic field, right, because that would line up ionized plasma um, um, in such a way that they would emit this polarized light. And so, well, that's what they did, right? They took a bunch of data, right, with this pole two instrument, and of course um, reduced it, blah 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 blah, and what they came up with was, let's go to the picture, because the picture is the best part, and they put all their pictures and things at the end here. So let me zoom out. So there is the pillars of creation, and they've sort of done two things here. One thing I like, the other thing I don't like. But I guess I understand why they did that. Why is that coming up like that? Hold on a second. I'm messing with my Linux machine here. For some reason, it started running a video. That's kind of weird. So the thing that I don't like is this black line here. Now I understand that what they're doing is they're just trying to show, like some boundaries, right? Calling this a ridge and all that. So I sort of understand that. So this big white dot here, this is what in radio jargon is called the beam size. So that is sort of the um, uh, that's as small of a feature as they can see are things that size, right? So you know they're not able to see a lot of extreme detail, right? The beam size in the optical here is much smaller, right? So you can see um, details a lot more. So that's why these little lines, which I'm going to explain in a second here, are more or less maybe half or so the size of this beam because that's about as good as they can get, right? So what these little lines are, right? These are and it looks like they're all the same length. So they're just showing um, direction of polarization, right? So they made all these measurements, right? All of these, which is that's a lot. That's a lot of data, right? And they measured the polarization at all these locations. And polarization, you can measure um, how much there is and also the position angle, right? The angle at which it is. And so what they're showing here is the angle, right? And as you can see at the ridge, oh, they all, these are sort of going up and then they curve around and then they're all like that, right? And then and this I think is what they were most excited about um, as far as the paper goes, right? Is that along these pillars, right? They seem to be sort of all lined up. In fact, it even curls around, right? And even goes off this way, right? Isn't that cool? That cool or what? So this is sort of supporting the idea that these structures are actually magnetic, um, which of course implies that they are electrical, right? Because I mean we're dealing with ionized material here, which is plasma, which is not electrically neutral, right? So uh, this material is going to feel magnetic fields, right? It, I mean, duh. So just kind of neat. Just kind of neat. I think there were some. If there are any conclusions here that are worth noting. So they've observed the pillars of creation, uh, field strength 170 to 320 microgauss. So I think the Earth is about half a Gauss, which would be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's 500,000 Gauss, 500,000 microgauss. So these are very, very, very weak magnetic fields, yet they're there. They can be observed. Um, So the current magnetic field strength suggests that um, magnetic pressure provides significant support against both gravitational and pressure-driven radio collapse. So pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all it says. Let's see. We hypothesized the persistence of such photoionized columns as objects connected to their parent molecular cloud may be related to the geometry of their magnetic fields, and specifically to the relative orientation of the magnetic fields in the pillars and their surrounding photoionized region. Okay, so they're actually doing ongoing observations too. So very, very cool. All right. Well, anyway, so that was just an interesting thing because um, I know that the pillars of creation are sort of popular. Everybody seems to like those a lot, and they get all excited about them. So um, now it's sort of seeming as though these structures are fundamentally electrical in nature. So I think that's pretty cool. Significantly more than any kind of gravitational or collisional stuff, right? So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to show you, which I don't think I ever have on this podcast, and I want to sort of maybe get into the habit of visiting this. Oh, at least maybe once a week or so, is the astronomy picture of the day. So if you don't know about this, this is a NASA um, sponsored site, NASA operated, I guess, um, and it's apod.nasa.gov, right? Here, I can put that over here. I think apod dot nasa dot gov. So there it is. Um, and as the name implies, this is some kind of astronomical or space photo that is featured every single day. And I guess how this works is that people can, um, excuse me, they can submit their pictures, or somehow these pictures are selected. And yeah, I'm going to think about submitting some some things, because at least according to their little rules here, let's see, does that um, APOD accepts composited or digitally manipulated images. So I think I I can make some pictures. Yeah, for sure. We'll see. We'll see. So let's look at a few of these, right? Because of course there's an archive. So this one, of course, is today's. So there's a nice aurora there. So can you imagine seeing aurora from space? Well, here you go. Here you go. And you can see the atmosphere here. This is actually this orange stuff. That's called air glow. That's sort of like a low level aurora. Usually pretty hard to see from the ground, but they also point out that there's a this crater on the Earth here too, and some lights, right? Some lights. Oh, okay, so that's in Canada. Cool. So it's about 100 kilometers across. Really? That's 100 kilometers? Oh, mm, I'm having a problem with that, right? Because the space station is about 400 kilometers up. Oh, I don't think it's that big. I don't know. What do I know? So let's look at a few of these other ones. Oh yeah, I thought that this was interesting. I looked at a few of these before we got on. This is actually the region of the Pleiades. The Pleiades is that star cluster, also known as M45, over in Taurus. Now we know that it's a dusty place, but what these folks have done is they have sort of gone to the extreme. They've taken images in the infrared, where the stars are very, very dim, right? I mean, you can see them there. Oh, okay. It's sort of, as you move on to the thing here. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't like that. Anyway, so you can see the stars in there, right? There they are. But look at all that stuff around them. Now, of course, this is false color, right? They've taken a they've taken three colors, uh, three wavelengths in the infrared, and made them red, green, and blue, and combined them, right? So I guess this is from the WISE spacecraft. So I'm going to have to check out the WISE spacecraft, see if there's other stuff. But this is just one possibility in terms of the colors. I mean, it's stunning, right? I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. But it's interesting. See this red star that is sort of pretty faint um, in the visible. Look how bright it is in the infrared. And same with this one up here. Isn't that cool? So it looks like there's a bunch of red stars here that, yeah, they all just sort of pop out there. That's very, very cool. And look at this weird structure here. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I'd like to see this higher res. Can we do that? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's loading it. Here we go. Let's see if we can get. Okay, yeah. Wow, look at that. That's some that's some serious diffraction spike. That doesn't look like a diffraction spike. That I don't know what that is. Maybe it is. Wow, those are some serious diffraction spikes. Holy moly. I'm also seeing, you see this here? That that shows up around every single star. Look at that. Yeah, it's there. So yeah, they've got some weird optical problems here. Look at that. Interesting. Kind of interesting. But wow, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Nice detail. But yeah, that's a weird optical effect around. I mean, and that's actually around every single star. It's just you can't see it with the fainter ones. But yeah, there's this really weird diffraction spike thing here, and then there's this weird ghost. And yes, don't forget to bang the thumbs up. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Anyway, that's kind of an interesting feature there. It almost looks, I mean, um, we humans, we see all kinds of things, right? But I mean, I see a human figure there, right? The legs and the body and sort of a triangle head. Let's see, coronal rain on the sun. Some of these, I think this one's a video from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. So we won't watch this whole thing, and I mean it's not going to really show up incredibly well anyway. So medium-sized flare occurred on the sun. Oh, there it is over here on the side. What occurred with the flare was simply amazing. All right, wait for it. Wait for it. Ooh. Boom. That's intense. That is intense. Look at this. Look at this thing streaming out here. Wow. Yeah, so there's the Earth scale. So, this 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 feature on the sun is many times the size of the Earth. But yeah, it's awesome. Sun is a cool place for sure. I mean, cool in an awesome way. Let's see, Titan. As you can see, this just every single day there is something new, and there's Titan. Let's see, is there any other interesting one here? Gum Nebula, Spiral Galaxy 4038 in collision. Let's look at that one, I guess. Always like to look at colliding galaxies. It's taking its time. There it goes. That's nice. Domingo Pastena. Pastena. Pretty cool. HST data. Looks like. Um, Attack of the Laser Guide Stars. I need to. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. I need to talk about laser guide stars again, don't I? One of the things that I did at the university was help develop the first astronomical adaptive optics system. So yeah, I can speak to anything adaptive optics. Uh, Milky Way versus air glow. Kepler's house in Linz. Okay, pretty cool. Nice house. Galaxies in the river. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Hmm. Large galaxies grow by eating small ones. Even our own galaxy practices galactic cannibalism, absorbing small galaxies. Blah blah blah. In fact, so okay, so Iridanus is the constellation known as the River. So this is just a galaxy inside of that constellation, and it looks like it's going to soon be colliding with this guy up there. That's kind of cool. Nice picture. Good color. Let's see. The observable universe, the unusual boulder at Tycho's Peak. Oh yeah, this I thought was kind of cool. So this is on the moon, right? And this is lunar reconnaissance orbiter um, data, and it's just this rock, right? It's just this rock. Um, I can't. I don't know where it is in the crater itself. I don't know. Moon halo over stone circle, Wanderers, Magellanic Mountain, play Saturn's rings like a harp. Yeah, I have ideas on that one. Bubble Nebula, the Ring Nebula, Space Shuttle Rising, painting with Jupiter, Twilight in a Western Sky. Let's see. Let's see, Twilight. Okay, yeah, I suppose so. What have we got here? Maybe I'm not quite sure what that is over there. Okay, that's Moon, Venus, and Mercury. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, Atta, have a great one. Yeah, I'm going to be getting out of here pretty soon too. We're just, you know, chilling out, looking at some pictures of some cool stuff. Nova Carine 2018. Yay. Floating Star. Always fun. The Nebra Sky Disk. I have no idea what a Nebra Sky Disk is. Nebra. Oh, okay. What does it say here? Some consider it the oldest known illustration of the night sky, but what exactly does it depict and why was it made? The Nebra Sky Disk was found with a metal detector in 1999 by treasure hunters in Germany with several Bronze Age weapons. The ancient artifact spans about 30 centimeters, so that's about a foot, and has been associated with the some um, culture that inhabited part of Europe around 1600 BC. So the dots are thought to represent stars, with the cluster representing the Pleiades. Okay. With a large circle and crescent representing the sun and moon. The purpose of the disk remains unknown. Hypotheses include an astronomical clock, a work of art, and a religious symbol. Valued at $11 million. God. So, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of cool looking though. Oh, sure, Bobby, I can do that. Um, I, you know, I, uh, I try to watch some of the Twitch, but I'm definitely not able to catch um, many of them. But yeah, I can make a list of the Twitch streams that I at least have bookmarked. All right. Well, I think it is time to get out of here for today. Tomorrow there will be a live stream, but the next day, okay, for the 1st of June, 2018, there will not be a live stream. So yeah, you're just gonna have to do something else that that night. But I'm gonna be playing some music with my musical partner. He is a native flute player, and he's very good. He's very good. It makes my job easy, right? Because it's all I have to do is just sort of be in the background and support his sound. But his sound can stand on its own. So I just sort of raise him up a little bit, and that's all I do. So, but thoroughly enjoy it. It's great sound. People seem to really like it, and for me, it allows me to sort of uh, uh, play sort of ambient types of sounds. Uh, but yeah, we have quite a few ideas on what we want to do as a band, and so hopefully though those kinds of things will come to fruition. So yeah, we have this gig on what is going to be my Thursday evening. And then we have another gig on the 4th of July in Tombstone. And we have another gig up in Laughlin, Nevada, sometime in November. And I'll talk more about that later because that's kind of an interesting, I think that's going to be sort of an interesting experience. So, but all right. Yeah. And if Pamela is still going on her stream, go over there, check her out. She's doing it apparently right now. And yeah, Brain Bites is a great place. We've got all kinds of science related streamers over there. You know, biology, chemistry, geology. There's a couple of astronomers. Yeah, I'm not able to keep up with it all at all. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna get out of here for now. Peace. Cheers. I will see you in a little less than 23 hours on the spin. Don't get dizzy. Hold on to your hats. It's a smooth ride though. It's pretty smooth. Not too bumpy. No. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow.